Okay, now what I want to do in this video is show you how to set up your floors. And actually your first floor, the bottom of your first floor is actually going to integrate your foundation or part of your foundation as well. So let's go to level 1. That's where we will start. So we'll go over here to the project browser and double click on level 1, and you get back to this picture. All right, and the floors, what we're going to do, we're going to go architecture. We're going to use the floor tool and floor architectural. And of course, with the floor, there's several things we want on a floor. First, we want our concrete slab, and that's going to be basically part of the foundation. That's going to be what the solid surface which you're going to walk on, what holds up the house and everything else. And of course, there are no floors, or there's a few, but not a whole lot as far as choice, that are preloaded that you can just lay it down and say, okay, here's a floor. Now we have to do a little editing to them. Because this is a residential structure, we're going to use, and because of the type of ground that we're going to assume that we're on, we're going to use an 8-inch thick concrete slab. So to do that, I'm just going to use this generic 12-inch, and I'm going to do some editing to it. And to do that, I've got it selected. Now I'm going to go to Edit Type. That's this button right here. And I'm going to go to this button and duplicate it. I don't want to change any of the preset models, because I might end up using them later. So I'm just going to change this. I'm going to duplicate it and make all of my changes to that duplicate model. You can rename it. As soon as you hit the duplicate button, you get this name dialog. So you'll rename it, and I'm just going to call this concrete cast in place, because that just means it is a poured concrete slab. So concrete cast in place is in place, and it was cast or poured into in place. So I'm going to click OK. And now I'm going to click on the edit button, okay, just to show you where that's at again. That edit button is right here. As you see, it's on the structure row. So we need to change the structure of this new slab. So we're going to leave this part the same. It says structure priority 1. We're going to change the by category, which is your material column. So right now it's not anything. It's not concrete. It's not anything. So I'm going to click on that, and I'll again show you how I did that. So it says by category. All right, right here. If I click in that box, I actually get another little box right over here, like a button. It looks like it has ellipses on it. I'm going to click on that box with the ellipses, and I'm going to scroll through my material and look for cast in place concrete gray, okay, or concrete cast in place gray, as they have it posted here. And I'm going to click OK right over here. And as you see, they've got all the patterns and everything already loaded into it. So it's going to, achieve its, required patterns in drawing views. I'm also going to change the thickness of it right here under the thickness column. I'm just going to change that to 8 inches. And then click OK. All right. Now, I could actually, if I wanted to, one way of doing that is to actually add the flooring material on top of that as well. All right. So here we are. Those are the changes that we made. I can go down and click the Insert button. Okay. And then, of course, I need to move this up because I don't want it to be below the concrete. I want it to be above the concrete. All right. So, and this right here indicates, basically, this is the layering process, and it indicates the layers just as you would look at them. So right now I've got this new layer as being under the structure. So I'm going to go down and click on the Up button and get it above the structure and above this core boundary. The core boundary just kind of represents this as the core material. This structural material right here is the core. So above that will be the core boundary, and below it will be also a core boundary. So on line 1, I now have structure, which I really want to be a finish. So I'll click on Finish Priority 1. or finish one, priority 4 actually. And then of course by category, I can click on here. I can choose any type of material I want to. Copper, if I wanted to. That would be kind of unusual. But our wood, oak flooring is a very common one to use. But if you use this particular method I'm using now, then you have to have the same finish in every single room, all the way through the house. It's going to be all the same. I particularly do not want that with this design. So I'm going to cancel this addition of that layer. All right, and you see we still have that layer in our drawing. So I'm going to click on that layer and then go down to the bottom to the delete button and remove that, okay, because I'm not going to use it that way. That's just one way that you can use it. We will add our floor finish material later, which will be a combination of probably wood, tile, and carpet. But for now, we just need that concrete cast in place. Great. Click OK. And everything here is good. We don't need to change anything here. And click OK. And now what we do, and if you look here, you can see that we are actually in an editing mode. And it says right here, modify, create floor boundary. So we're in the floor editing mode. As you notice, the drawing is all kind of grayed out. And in order to create this floor, all we have to do is click on each wall, and then we just created the floor. You want to create this floor because it is a slab on grade, meaning it is, it's a slab that is sitting right on top of the ground. The house is going to sit right on top of that. We want that to come all the way to the outside line of the walls, the outside exterior face of the walls. A lot of times when you click, it may end up kind of in the middle or maybe offset from the inside. So you'll have to go back and edit that, and I'll show you how to do that. And actually there's some editing we're going to have to do. So I'm just clicking on all the walls. See if I can get one to show up on the inside so I can show you how to edit it. But no, I'll just kind of play around with it and get that. Excuse me for one moment, please. All right. So in editing these pink lines that go all around that represent our floor, excuse me, I'm going to get a cough drop. All right. So editing these pink lines that go all the way around is really as simple as just clicking on the line itself. Or actually, we need to hit the escape button one time. And I think we're in edit mode. No, make that 2 times. So 2 escape button hits. Now we can edit. Okay, so like I was saying, if your line's placed to the inside, the interior wall, then all you have to do is just click on it and then drag it back or forth. Okay, so there, it may have ended up right there. I would drag it to the outside. Right here, we need to fix this corner, and actually this one is on the inside wall, but we do need to fix this corner because we have to create what's called a full closed loop, which just means there's a series of lines that go all the way around and close up an entire shape. But it's not really closed when you have one stray line kind of extending, such as this one. I'm going to go to the corner tool right here, or let's see which one. Yeah, I want to use the corner tool. And all I have to do on that is click on this line, and I just deleted the extended line that was up here. So the key to that in Revit is to click on the parts of the line that you want to keep, and it will delete the rest. Okay. And as you can see, there's actually even an extended line right here. So I'm going to click on the lines I want to keep. I don't want that little extension right there. So I'm going to click here and then click there, and I keep that. Okay, so I'm going to double click the escape button to get out of that tool, and I'm going to come back and edit this and bring it to the outside. And I also have to go back and kind of cut this little tail off of the end of the wall there that shouldn't be there. All right, so now that I've finished, picking the boundaries for my floor, I'm going to click the check mark. And there we go. We have our concrete slab. And because I'm back in the regular mode of editing, I can fix this wall. There we go. There. Now, if you ever need to edit this concrete slab for any reason, and you will, if you decide to move a wall, if I wanted to move this wall out here, I would have to go in and edit the boundary of the floor of the concrete slab. I want to select that slab, but as you see, it's kind of hard to select because it's on like a lower layer. Now, I could hover out over here by the wall and kind of highlight that wall. That's going to be on a higher layer. And then use the tab button to circle through a series of selections. And if I'm lucky, then it will eventually notice the floor. I'm not getting lucky though. Okay, here's another thing I can try. There's a button right over here at the bottom. Let me zoom into that. This button allows you, if you click on it, to remove the red X. Okay. That allows you to choose objects that are on a lower visual layer than what you are currently working in. So if I turn that off and then come over here, maybe I can cycle through and pick up that floor. So using my tab button, I'm cycling through a series of selections. It may even help to move your cursor a little bit back and forth. Okay, or even try a different spot. Okay, not that you should spend an entire day trying to select that concrete slab. Another way of doing that, and let me go out of zoom. Okay, so another way of doing that, if you're having a hard time clicking it, getting to it, all right, you can actually go back into your elevations. Go back to any one of these elevations, it doesn't matter. And select it from here. Okay, so I just selected the slab from one of my elevations. Then I can go back up to level 1 and it is selected. Okay, so now that it's selected, I need to double click on it, maybe. I take that back. So watch this. I'm going to go back to one of my elevations and I'm going to double click on it here. And then it comes with, in order to edit the sketch, please open one of the following views where the sketch will be parallel to the screen. Okay, so I'm just gonna, it has floor plan, it's gonna have all the levels that you could possibly edit it from. I'm just gonna leave it at floor plan level 1. That's usually gonna be, the first one is usually gonna be the most obvious. And I'm gonna say open view. Now I'm back in edit mode. Okay. And I can select any of those lines. If I happen to move a wall, I can select those lines and extend the boundary. So I can even here, if I decided to move that wall out, I could just edit it to where that line is right here. Okay, but I am going to cancel that edit, keep it the way it was. Click on the green check mark to get out of it, and back to our regular concrete slab. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do as far as creating a floor is go up to the second level. And the way I'm doing this is just kind of the order that I like to do things in. Get my floors and everything else set, especially when it comes to the level, because later on some of the components that I place is going to depend on what that final level is, or elevation I should say. Okay, so I'm at level 1. I'm going to go to level 2. So over in my project browser, I'm going to double click on level 2. And you see there's not a whole lot going on there. But I do want to place a floor. Floor architectural. The fortunate thing is there is a floor in here that we can use. It is a wood truss joist 12-inch, which is exactly what we want. It's a trussed joist system. It's 12-inch, 1 foot. It also has a carpet finish, but I'm not going to use that carpet finish. And I'll show you what we're going to do with it. So I'm clicking on it. I'm going to place it. Now here you see it's kind of coming to the inside. I do want this to go, let me think, do I want it to go all the way? Yes, I do. I want it to go all the way to the outside. And I will show you how to fix that. Okay, now right here, I'm not sure why that wall is not there, but that's okay. I'm just going to make a corner, maybe here. And no, I'm not going to make a corner. So I need to use some of my drawing tools. I'm going to go right here into the draw panel, click on the straight line tool, and then just draw it straight down like so. All right. Now editing these. Okay, I want this floors structure. I'm going to double click on the escape button to get out of the actual tool where I chose the boundary. I'm going to click on the lines and just move them all the way to the outside surface of the structure. Now what I'm doing, I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to come back and even edit them further. Okay, and we'll probably work on that next. So just moving them all to the outside. And that one, I have no idea where it should be. So I'm going to leave it for now. All right, so I got that floor structure. And basically, again, that is a wood truss structure. And we'll kind of take a look at that here in just a second to see how that is actually constructed. And I'm going to click on the green check mark. Now it says the floor and roof overlaps the highlighted walls. Would you like to join geometry and cut the overlapping volume out of the walls? I don't do that here. Okay, if you do it here, it leaves a 1 foot gap all the way around your house where there is no wall covering it. So I just kind of leave it alone for now, and I kind of worry about it later in my detail when I do my detailing. So I'm going to select no, and now I have that second floor wall. That second floor, and it is at level 2. Now this is where you start to use your properties panel. So I'm looking over my properties panel. I can see that I placed this floor on level 2 where it should be. If I needed to offset it, I could. And just about anything else that I wanted to do to it, I could. I'm going to click on edit type. I'm going to duplicate it. And I am going to just call this a wood truss dash 12 inch with no carpet. Okay, now I'm going to go into the structure and edit the structure. I'm going to remove the carpet. So I'm going to click on line 1, which is a finish. Okay, carpet and a thickness. So I'm going to remove that because I'm going to put something else down there later. The rest of the structure that is left is our structural wood joist system, our trusses. And I think after this video, I'll probably teach you about trusses and what they are. But it is at 11 7/8 inches from the bottom of the truss to the top of the truss. And then there is a plywood sheathing that is at 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And I'm going to click OK. And OK.